All right, my bike lovers, welcome back to the channel. This is my bike build. It's your boy Noble. Now I wanted to talk about what happened last week in terms of I was able to commute to work for a week straight, and what happened to me. I was able to spend the work week going to a summer camp. I was working with a summer camp with the kids. This is a person that I usually do their music program with. They're closed during the summer in terms of regular school, so they do summer camps, and someone was out and they asked if me or anybody that I was working with wanted to help out. I said, yeah, I'd love to help out. Now, one of the main reasons that I wanted to help out, sure, I do enjoy working with kids. It's pretty fun. It was a pretty chill job. I thought the coworkers were really awesome, but I got to commute to work, and it's been many years since I've been able to commute to work, so I relished in the opportunity. Now, some of the reasons that I don't commute is that for the work that I do, I travel to different locations. I do music, preschool music, and I work at different schools, maybe for an hour up to 2 hours, and so I'm always at a different place throughout the week. So there's no fixed distances. Some of my schools are a couple miles away. Some of my schools are, 15 miles away. So it's really hard for me to set up a routine and a schedule to go to the different schools. And also because I have to take all the musical equipment with me, I'm like a mobile music class where I bring all the instruments, I bring all the materials. I would have to literally ride with a electric bike or some sort of my cargo electric bike, or have some way to carry all of these instruments, and it's just not very practical, and it's not something that I'd want to do if I'm on a really tight schedule, and also some of the locations are just a little too far for that. Some of the locations it would work, some of the locations are too far and I wouldn't want to do that, and so I try to do what's the most consistent thing, and that's just driving my car, parking my car. I have a cart for the instruments that I can take up into the school and wheel them up into the school, so it's a lot easier. So it's just not practical. I mean, probably in a world where I didn't have a car at all and I had to make it work, I could possibly make it work, but because I have a car, I'm gonna do that. It's far more convenient. So some of the locations are in different places. It's a little too far and I have a bunch of equipment. Now, the reason that I could commute to this place, it's a fixed location. I'm going the same place every day. I don't need to bring any equipment with me other than a change of clothes and anything like that. And it's only about 6.5 miles, which to me is like kind of the perfect distance. Anywhere between 2 to 9 miles. You don't want to do too much more than that, just because, for me especially, I get so sweaty when I ride. I ride really hot. I tend to be cold when I'm standing still, but I ride really hot. So the sweatiness and everything, I need to work out when to get to work so that I can have a little cool down time. So here's some of the things that I needed to get my commuter game on. So I did need a pannier, okay? I brought a bag lunch, a change of shoes. If you have sneakers or stuff that you like to wear around the kids, I would never recommend, and I've talked about this in my video about what shoes to wear when you ride your bike. I would say to people, never ride in sneakers. They're not good. Anything with soft soles, try to avoid when you're commuting. It's not a good idea. I needed to change a shirt because I'm sweaty. I'm basically, my shirt is drenched when I get there. I needed a towel to dry myself off. I need 2 rider hats because I love wearing rider hats underneath my helmet. Again, because I'm so sweaty, I like having a separation between the helmet and my hat. A lot of the sweat will go into my hat, and it alleviates some of the dampness that I feel on the helmet when you try to wear it later on in the day. I brought some cologne with me just to give a few sprays in case the sweatiness becomes stinkiness and mustiness. I kind of wanted to make sure that I alleviate some of that, and a bike computer just so I could track my progress and see, how much riding I'd been doing. And that allowed me to know how much distance I was riding, how long it took me to get there. So I have to factor in, again, that I'm really sweaty. So ideally, it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to cool down. So you want to get there 10 to 15 minutes earlier than you need to actually be prepared for work, so that I can cool down, change my shirt, change my shoes, and do all of that. It's because like I said, I ride extremely hot, so I just need that time. So that's something I had to factor into. Okay, if I'm going to be there at 8:45, I really need to be there like between 8:20 and 8:30, so that I can have that time to just come down, cool down, let my heart rate come back down to normal, so that I'm ready for the kids when they come through the door. Now that 6.5 miles, because of my bike computer was very helpful to let me know that it takes between 28 and 32 minutes to complete. Generally, the way there was pretty flat terrain. There was not any hills, so to speak. I was able to basically get on the bike path and get all the way there. Those are some things you want to consider, like the first ride you're going to make there, because you're riding under commuter conditions. You don't know exactly what it's going to be like. I kind of like it pretty much tracks the amount of time it took with my bike rides. You know that it's going to be a little bit slower because I'm riding my Poseidon X. It's a flat bar or an alternative bar, so it's not my fastest bike ever. And also, one thing I realized when you're commuting, fill up those tires, keep that tire pressure consistent, so that you can get the most out of your most efficiency you can. Like flatter tires, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get there. So those, I started to remember from my commuter days that I would usually check my tire pressure almost every morning before I went out. So the takeaway obviously was that I had a ton of fun. Like I forgot that like bike commuting is like one of my favorite ways of getting in shape. You become such a strong rider when you commute. I progressively got faster as the week went on, and I looked forward to riding home after work. And then you don't need to think about exercise throughout the day, right? It's like a lot of the times now, because I drive so much, I have to really like set aside a time to ride my bike. But when your exercise is your commute to work and your commute back, I really found myself looking forward to getting up in the morning, and it really forced me to go on early bike rides, because I was out the door at like 7:45, 8 o'clock, which I forgot how much I loved it. I really love getting up early and riding my bike. I mean, especially it's so quiet in the morning. It's a little bit cooler in the summer. In the winter, that can be a little bit of a pain in the butt because it's dark and you need your lights. But I felt like it was the perfect distance for me. Altogether, you're riding for about an hour of the day, and it adds so much fitness into your life. And what I also realized is my stamina was at a decent place, but it wasn't as good as it became after that week of riding. Just that being forced to ride every single day to get to work really forced me to build my stamina, even just that extra little bit, and it made such a difference. And so I was just really stoked, and I think, not everyone is lucky enough to either be close enough to commute to work, or like me in my regular job where I make the bulk of my money, I have to carry equipment with me and everything. So that makes it like a bummer to have to try to commute. But if you are in those conditions where you're like between like, I would say obviously even if it's 1 mile down the road, right? It doesn't matter. You can ride your bike. But, if it's under a mile, I would consider walking. Like a 15-minute walk is pretty fun. But, if it's over a mile, if it's about 2 miles, it's a little too far to want to walk. Obviously 2 to 3 miles is not, you could totally do it. But in terms of carrying a gear with you and everything, it's just so much fun to be able to commute, and I really miss it. And in the past, I've considered getting part-time jobs, not so much for the money, just so I could commute somewhere and ride my bike there every day and be forced into doing that. So if you're in that situation where you have a little bit of extra time in your day and you could work somewhere for like 3 to 4 hours or something, and it would add a commute to your life, I would say it's totally worth it. If I was ever considering that, having an afternoon job, because most of my work is in the mornings, having an afternoon job or something like that, just to have a place to ride to, it's just like, it made it totally worth it, because I felt like, my regular rides with Uncle Dan, I would say, when I first started riding with him, I was riding all the time. I was riding early in the mornings, and my stamina was really high. And I feel like if anyone's been following my channel, I took a little break off making videos for maybe 2-3 months. And in that time, I stopped riding as hard. And I've been feeling it I've been really feeling it in my stamina. And just this last week when I went on a ride with Uncle Dan, I felt all that stamina that I had lost had come back. And so if you're able to ride every day, it's a real blessing. I start to notice when I've been riding too long because my knees start to have that like dull ache in them. So if you do have that, maybe you can take like a week or a few days off to regain the strength in your knees. But other than that, it was an amazing experience, and I'm going to be helping them out again in August. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to just getting back on the bike and getting stronger and stronger like that. And it's inspired me to get up earlier in the morning. It's inspired me to try to go on as early bike rides as I can. Now, we have a toddler in the house, and he is real sensitive to me leaving in the morning. And so I think it's hard because when I leave the house in the morning, he'll get up and he just has a sixth sense of knowing that I'm gone and be like, oh no, he's gonna cause a fuss. So it's been hard some days to just keep that routine up. When you have work, it's like you're just forced to go and you have no other reason. But if there's anything that's like keeping you back and you don't have to go out the door, it makes it really tough. So anyway, if you have a chance to commute, you should do it. It's changed, just taking my cycling up to another stamina level, and I highly recommend it. So yeah, get in the comment section and let me know your experiences with commuting and how you've been able to work around it. Obviously, one of the biggest challenges is having all the gear that you need. I think like making sure I had a change of shirts and just a game plan to be like, you're gonna be sweaty. Some people don't get as sweaty as others. I get crazy sweaty. Like, I look like I've just jumped into a lake afterwards. My shirt just looks totally drenched, and so I feel totally self-conscious about it. So yeah, that change of shirt was super helpful. Anyway, let me know your experiences. Let me know your challenges. We'll talk soon. Peace.